All right, so we are joined by Star Wars Rebels executive producer Dave Filoni here at New York Comic Con. Dave, we got to talk about Rebels. So let's start off with Ahsoka and Rex coming back, big Clone Wars characters. And what I find kind of fascinating about those two characters in particular coming back is those are two characters who were hugely impacted by Anakin Skywalker. And now they're almost, if not leading the charge, they're going to play, it seems at least, they're going to play big roles in the charge against Darth Vader. Was that a conscious decision on your guys' part, or was it just a happy coincidence?
I think you just know this relationship exists, and it becomes a very interesting character dynamic, something to develop. You do instantly get all these conflicts. What do they know? What don't they, know? What do they believe? How much does Rex know? Ahsoka walked away. Does she realize what happened? And it's all based on conversations that I had over the years with George. And then we took it farther because of the characters in Rebels. And we thought, well, if we're going to bring Vader into Story of Rebels, and we know everybody wanted to have Vader in Rebels, we have to have an opponent that makes sense for him. Kanan doesn't make sense. I mean, he would destroy. Kanan is one of those guys that Vader probably eliminated, after the fact. Especially because Kanan was so young and not fully trained. Right. You also have several interesting, you have a Jedi who fell and became a Sith, and Vader. You have a Jedi who left the Order in Ahsoka. You have a Jedi whose training is incomplete in Kanan. You have a kid being raised who doesn't even know what it means to be a Jedi in Ezra. So all those great character dynamics, plus Rex more affects Kanan. Rex is a clone, obviously, that betrayed the Jedi or not. Right, and
you're not going to tell us that
one. No, go to the screening tonight. And then as you sit there and you look at that, you go, well, Kanan would, as much as the Jedi is allowed to hate, he would not like Rex.
Right.
But Ezra, he doesn't care. He wasn't in the Clone Wars. He just sees a kind old person that wants to help them now. So that's a great conflict because the Rex instigates Kanan and Ezra against one another, and so this year in some ways, Ezra's teaching Kanan a little bit more about his own past, and Ezra didn't know this about his past, how he wound up on his own, what happened to his Jedi master, his master. Ezra never asked. So it's a big deal, and it served our characters on Rebels as much as it serves these other characters from Clone Wars.
Yeah. And also with just going to the broader Rebel Alliance, Rebels has kind of given us our first real look at what the Alliance was like when it was starting out, these groups of Rebel cells. How do you guys approach, I assume transitioning at some point maybe from these Rebel cells to the more complete Rebel army that we see in episodes 4 and 5 and 6 and beyond?
When we started the process of this thought in Clone Wars, when we did the Onderon arc, where we saw Anakin training Saw and Steela Gerrera in the ways of, combat, militarized combat, getting these small groups, these pockets to fight, the Separatists. A lot of those pocket groups then also went on to resist the Empire. So you have a variety of groups, and we've been strategically figuring out how we bring them together. Hera obviously has some opportunity there because of her father, Cham Syndulla, and he's a revolutionary going back to the Clone War. So, there are all kinds of characters that we thought would be important to bring in. That's an easy way of saying we're probably going to see Cham this year. So there's a little exclusive for you. But, it would be important. But I've said, we want to see all these characters' backstories, who they were. We do it very much in the now time. So it would be, them talking about what happened to them in the past. But it really forms who they are, who she is as a character, and we get that with everybody, which I think makes season 2 really exciting and deeper than season 1.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.